Hi everyone. So this is just a quick announcement letting you know that going forward in this series, I will be releasing zero point 0.5 parts to cover the story of Goku and the Earth Gang, while the normal parts such as 7, 8, and 9 will be left for Gohan, since I think everyone is going to be less interested in the stuff happening with the Earth group. So by splitting it into zero point 0.5 parts, it means that if people want, they can skip them. This is content you will need to watch or know, but these parts will be kept relatively short and will just be a way for me to make sure everyone knows what's going on with Goku and the Earth Gang. That being said, Part 7 will be following Gohan, and you'll get a feel for what I'm doing with this series. Thank you, Pickle, for the idea. I was really struggling with this. But let's get going. Goku runs through the wasteland, dodging oncoming barrage of ki blasts raining down upon him. The Saiyan doesn't however panic, as instead he increases his speed, avoiding the downpour of blasts near him, using his robotic arms to deflect ones which come too close to hitting him. As the rain of attacks stops for a second, the Saiyan jumps on the spot, turning around and shouting out to Krillin if that's all he's got with a small chuckle. These words cut deep into Krillin's skin, but the monk hides his sadness, instead sparking up his aura and beginning to fire down on Goku once more. But this time the blasts almost lock onto Goku, as even after the Saiyan avoids the blast's initial target, Krillin, showing off his almost perfect ki control, makes it so hundreds of ki blasts suddenly converge towards Goku, none hitting the ground and exploding. Krillin knows that the only way he will be able to win this battle is to keep his distance. With Goku still not being able to fly or use ki blasts after waking up 2 weeks ago, the monk plans to keep his advantage for as long as possible. As Goku is swarmed by hundreds of ki blasts, he uses a new advantage he's found with his new body, as he dives into a formation of rock, breaking Krillin's line of sight on him. Krillin, not wanting to let the energy he used to create and control these ki blasts go to waste, he chooses to carpet bomb the rock formation with the ki blasts which had been following Goku. As the blasts collide with this formation of rocks, it levels the area in smoke. Krillin, still unable to sense Goku's energy, is forced to rely on his other senses, but they fail him when put up against Goku's speed, as the Saiyan's enhanced body allows him to move faster than Krillin's eyes can keep up with, as suddenly emerging from the smoke is Goku, coming up and delivering a vicious right hook, having jumped the distance from the ground to Krillin. The force of this attack sends shock waves of pain through Krillin's body, as he is sent flying thousands of miles away, only stopping when he can think clearly once more, and having to exert a good deal of ki to halt his momentum. Krillin tries to take a second to breathe, but seeing the speed and strength of Goku, Krillin's brain doesn't allow him to think or even rest about anything other than the last 2 years. Thinking about how he spent the last 2 years training and it was all so pointless. He's still so weak. He's nowhere near strong enough to defend anyone. As an orange and silver blur starts honing in on Krillin's location, the monk weakly takes a fighting stance, his heart truly not in the battle. But that's when he feels something out in space. Something incredible. Something so strong it causes his already throbbing head to course in pain. When he feels this energy, the monk cannot help but feel like he knows it somehow. But whoever it once was is no longer there. This energy is tainted by anger, hatred. In fact, the power is so violent, Krillin has to hold back vomit as the energy shakes him to his very core. Goku shows up ready to continue their fight, but as he watches Krillin slowly float to the ground, looking scared and staring off into space, Goku asks what's wrong, and Krillin's only able to mutter out that he sensed something so strong in space. Something pure evil. Something filled with so much rage and hate, to the point it makes Raditz's aura seem gentle and kind. Goku, hearing this, looks to space as he tries desperately to feel anything at all, but still this new energy he's found is foreign to him. He's unable to do anything but watch as the insecurities that have been growing in Krillin almost triple at the feeling of this power, as the monk can only hope and pray whatever this belongs to never comes to Earth. Goku, however, feels differently, knowing that a monster so strong that they make Raditz look weak is out there, and it's out there with his son, only hardens his resolve to find Gohan. Goku turns to Krillin as he goes to ask his friend if they can continue training, but before the words can even leave Goku's mouth, he can see Krillin once more hanging his head low, staring into the sand they now stand on. Goku knows he has a duty to his family, but he also has a duty to his friends. As Goku gently places his hand on Krillin's shoulder, asking if the monk wants to get some grub. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, Bulma works tirelessly on making a ship for Goku, the woman being the only member of the crew in at the moment due to her normal mechanical team being busy with city repairs. But a light knock on the door grabs her attention as she spots Chi-Chi, sheepishly standing in the hallway. Bulma invites the woman in, with the pair having become very close over the last 2 years. Bulma can straight away figure out something is wrong with Chi-Chi, so decides to sit having a break from working on the ship and share a drink with her friend. As Bulma quite bluntly asks what's on her mind, Chi-Chi ponders over her drink for a few seconds before making a rather interesting request, as she asks Bulma to let her help make the ship. Bulma almost spits out her drink, confused, since from what she knows, Chi-Chi knows nothing about engineering, and even though she might be smarter than Goku, she still has never had a full education, so Bulma truly isn't sure how she can help. But Chi-Chi goes on saying that after hearing Goku so confident in his ability to find their son, after only just waking up, she realised that these last 2 years she has done nothing but pray Goku will wake up and fix every problem, as if him waking up would bring back their son instantly. Chi-Chi fights back tears as she says that she refuses to wait for Goku to do everything. She will be there, backing him up this time. She refuses to send Goku alone to save Gohan. And she might not be the strongest, but if she can learn how to drive, operate and repair this ship, she can help in her own way. That way she won't just be sitting on the sidelines, sitting on a planet waiting for someone else to save her son. She'll be out there actively helping. She promises Bulma that she is strong enough to move the pieces of metal that normally she would need a machine for. She was willing to spend every waking moment of her next 4 years trying to get this down, but she begs for Bulma to please let her help. Bulma, now fighting tears herself, embraces Chi-Chi in a hug, telling her that she will teach her all she can, but she tells Chi-Chi it's not going to be easy, but the woman's resolve is strong as steel, as she reminds Bulma that Goku has proven many times in the past that hard work can overcome anything, so she's going to do this for her son. As the pair smile, Bulma asks Chi-Chi what she actually knows about engineering and maths, so they know where to begin, causing a rather awkward chuckle to escape Chi-Chi's mouth. As night begins to overtake the land, Goku and Krillin sit beside a fire, cooking 2 giant fish. Goku watches curiously as Krillin pulls away from the fire ever so slightly. As they bask in the light and the heat of the flames, they say nothing for the next few minutes. The only sound heard is the crackling fire and the nature around them. As both of their fish are finished cooking, Goku laughs, saying that now, even though Bulma told him he doesn't need to eat, what's life without food? This Gokuism causes Krillin to smile slightly, but soon the silence which once lingered around them returns, with Goku finally wanting to fill this void of silence, when he asks Krillin what's wrong with him at the minute. Krillin laughs, asking Goku what he means, with Goku pointing out that the monk keeps zoning out, and something seems to be stopping him from taking any of their fights seriously. Krillin tries to find resolve in himself for a second, but he's finally well past his breaking point, as he asks Goku how can he do it. The Saiyan tilts his head, confused. Krillin's face drops as he stares blankly into the flames in front of him, asking how Goku can hear about everything which happened to their friends and just continue training like it's any other day. How can he not feel responsible for what happened to them? How can he not blame himself for not being present to save everyone, or for letting Raditz take Gohan? Goku for a second feels ashamed, but Krillin doesn't stop speaking, ending it off with saying how can he not blame him for not being there to back him up. And at hearing this, the Saiyan realises Krillin isn't pinning any of these things on him. No, his fellow Turtle School member is pinning the blame entirely on himself. Tears build in Krillin's eye as they begin to stream down his face, as he screams out that he should have been able to do more. If he hadn't taken his training so lightly, he could have helped Goku. He could have saved Roshi, or at least he could have helped one of the others in their battle against Raditz. But no, instead he went down to just one attack. One attack. Goku watches for a moment as Krillin bawls his eye out, and Goku soon puts a hand on his friend's back. Krillin looks up, and Goku's smile's gone as he looks at Krillin seriously, telling him he understands how he feels, but he's wrong. Sure, he might have not been able to help in either of the battle against Raditz, but if Krillin had gone with him to fight Raditz alongside Piccolo, and he had died, who would have saved Bulma? Who would then go on to save his life? Or if Krillin had died in the battle against Great Ape Raditz, no one would have been able to stop Dr. Gero from taking over the world and killing thousands more people, leaving the Earth in an even worse state. But if all of these things isn't good enough for Krillin should blame him. Raditz only made it as far as he did because he was stupid enough to trust his brother. He had him. They had him. He was in a killing position. And stupidly, Goku let go of his grip. And that is why they lost. And Goku promises it was a mistake he won't ever make again. But in the end, that's what Krillin needs to take away from this. That a failure should be a lesson to help guide you into your perfect self. Something Goku can tell Krillin understands. While he may not be able to sense Krillin's energy, just through the spar they had earlier, Goku can tell that Krillin is 1,000 times stronger than he had ever been before. Meaning that even after all of these terrible things happened to him, he still pushed himself to get stronger, to make sure that he could defend Earth if Raditz was to return. Krillin stood up and acted as Earth's only defender, while everyone else was down. Goku takes a second to catch his breath, as Krillin continues crying. Finally, Goku continues speaking, saying, "You've given me a chance to save my son, Krillin. So while you might think you're useless, I could not thank you enough for everything you've done for me, for Chi-Chi, for Bulma, and for Earth while I've been out of commission. So please, Krillin, forgive yourself." Krillin's vision slowly becomes clear as he spots Goku, and he shares a similar look on his face to Krillin. The Saiyan is fighting back tears, which is an emotion Krillin has rarely seen on him, as it's clear Goku had also been beating himself up about what happened. But unlike him, Goku has already begun to push forward from that day, now setting his sights on his new goal of saving his son at all costs. So Krillin wants to help his best friend master these powers so he can achieve that goal, so he doesn't feel useless. So, as the pair share another moment of silence, Krillin wipes away his tears and begins to eat his food at a rate that even scares Goku. As he finishes the fish, he stands up telling the Saiyan that they need to get right back into training then. Hearing this, Goku smiles as well, as he slams his hands together, telling Krillin to bring it. With everyone focused on their respective goals, time begins to pass in a blink of an eye. Krillin spends most of his time reteaching Goku the basics of ki control, months of meditation, sparring, and more importantly, readjusting to this new energy flowing through his body. With each day that passes, Goku's power shows itself more and more, and the further he masters his abilities, the clearer it becomes that the gap between him and Krillin will never be able to be closed. The Saiyan has achieved a level of power thought never to be possible, and while Goku is upset he has achieved this power through external means, he can live with it if it allows him to save his son. Goku takes this time to also help rebuild Krillin's confidence, as by helping Krillin get stronger, his confidence grows, and eventually, by the end of the 4 years, Krillin is at the point where he is easily able to take on thousands of Raditzes. It doesn't matter how many of them they were to throw at him, the monk wouldn't even flinch. But Krillin can't help but think back to the power he sensed all those years ago. He knows he could not defeat whatever that was, but that doesn't bother him. Thanks to his training with Goku and the confidence that's come from getting so much stronger, he feels fine with that. He knows that if that threat was to come to Earth, he will challenge it, and he will give it all he's got, but he might not win. But he can promise he will be giving it his all to try and prevent it from harming anything on Earth. Krillin isn't the only one teaching, as Bulma crams years of knowledge and research into Chi-Chi as fast as she can, and while at first Chi-Chi struggles to keep up with everything she's learning, slowly piece by piece, Chi-Chi is starting to pick things up, with her realising that she has no idea where Gohan got his brains from. However, even if this isn't her forte, she continues to push forward, knowing that Goku is doing the same to ensure that their son can come back. Now, having to tutor Chi-Chi does slow down the project ever so slightly, adding another 4 months to the creation of the ship, but soon the day of fate finally comes, as the 4 years have fully passed. It's the night before Goku's departure for space. The Saiyan is still unaware that he will have a co-pilot in the morning, Truthfully, Goku and Chi-Chi haven't seen a lot of one another since the first week of him waking up. Both have got so wrapped up in what they were doing, the time just got away from them. As Goku looks to the empty side of the bed Chi-Chi would normally sleep in, he's a bit unsure of where she is. However, even for how unaware the Saiyan is, he truly can't help but feel like there has been a bit of divide between them. Truthfully, he gets it, but it's been difficult. As the Saiyan looks down at his robotic arm, Bulma having offered to make him some synthetic skin, but the Saiyan refused, keeping the metal exposed to remind himself of his previous failure, and to make a promise to return his son. As the sunlight creeps into the room that Goku has been staying in, the Saiyan is already awake. Having gotten his gi on ready, he knows today marks the start of his space journey. Goku prepares himself for a long voyage by himself, but when making it to the launch zone, he finds Chi-Chi wearing an outfit he has never seen her in, going over some final details of the ship's maintenance and repairs with Bulma. Goku seeing her asks what she's wearing, with the woman looking at Goku with a smile, telling her husband that last time only one of Gohan's parents tried to save him, and it didn't work, so this time both are going after their son. The Saiyan looks surprised. He's genuinely shocked, but smiles, happy to have the chance to spend time with his wife, as he truly does believe there is an unspoken divide which had formed between them over the last few years. So when hearing that she will be his co-pilot, he cannot help but feel more confident in his ability to find Gohan. As Goku and Chi-Chi prepare to depart, they say goodbye to both Krillin and Bulma, as with the ship being mostly solar powered, the pair are truly not sure when they will return. Goku looks at Krillin, asking his friend to defend Earth alone for a little while longer. While he looks slightly nervous, the monk just smiles, telling Goku he will do the best he can. As the Sun family strap into their respective seats, Chi-Chi goes through the take-off procedures. The couple share a look and a silent vow not to return until they have found their son. With everything ready, the ship cuts through the sky of West City. Both Goku and Chi-Chi take one last look at the world they call home, unsure when they will return. Berry Blue looks around in panic as a group of elite soldiers run into her office. The leader of this squad shouts for Miss Blue that this isn't a drill and they need to begin the evacuation procedures ASAP. The woman's slightly flustered and scared, but she follows the orders given to her as the men form a diamond formation around her. The squad leader takes charge as he guides the group out of the room as explosions begin to shake the very planet. Once leaving Berry Blue's office, the terror of this situation truly becomes known as scientists, doctors, other non-combatants and even some soldiers which inhabit the base run in fear, most of them injured from falling debris, others missing limbs from stray blasts, all understanding if that they don't escape fast, they will die here. The squad leader can tell walking through this crowd will be pointless, so orders for his men to take flight and for Private to carry Berry Blue. As the youngest member of the squad apologises to Miss Blue before picking her onto his back, the group, wanting to avoid drawing in the very thing which has caused the evacuation procedures, begin to fly near the ceiling of the hallway. Once making it to the end of this hallway, while everyone turns left towards the base's ship hangar, our squad turns right, knowing that there are some small escape pods which should be available to get Commander Blue off this planet. Once escaping the terrified mob's area, the squad leader shouts for his men to land, having heard stories that this demon can track people through the smallest use of energy, and while himself and some men don't believe it, he isn't willing to take that risk, so orders for everyone to land. Each member of this squad has different levels of belief about this rumour, but all of them can't help but feel uneasy at the thought it's true. The youngest member of the group grips a pendant wrapped around his neck, praying he can return home to them. But the boy is not given much time to finish this thought, as his boss gives him the order to take the rear once more, as the diamond formation once again forms around their client. Unaware of the predator that has long since locked onto their scent, with a vicious grin on its face, it's found one of the targets it was after, so it decides to finish playing with its new colourful toys, disappointed that they couldn't be a little bit entertaining, as he now gets ready to end it. As the squad sees the escape pod come into view, a sudden explosion shakes the planet, with the power to all the facilities shutting off shortly following the explosion. As the base goes dark, the squad leader calls for a tighter formation and for each of his men to hustle, Each man follows the order in a second, keeping Berry Blue safe between all of them while continuing the evacuation. That is until the squad spots a pair of piercing red lights cutting through the darkness of the room, accompanied by a beastly growl and the sound of something gasping desperately for air. Everyone in the room freezes in fear, while they cannot see the monster. It's as if their bodies know that the slightest movement will set this creature off, and it will come for them. As everyone waits silently for a few seconds, soon the sound of something snapping is heard, causing the youngest member of this squad to flinch, stepping backwards in fear, and this is the signal for the creature to attack. Its aura suddenly bursts from its body, illuminating the room in a golden hue, as the squad can finally find the source of the snapping noise from earlier, as on the ground lays the lifeless corpse of Berta from the Ginyu Force. At this, the fear which had been coursing through everyone's bodies finally forces their fight or flight instincts to respond, and while the young soldier and Berry Blue turn to run, the rest of the squad begins to open fire on the beast. But before the blasters can even get warm, each member of the squad is down an arm and their blaster. Just as the room begins to fill with the pained screams of each soldier, it's suddenly filled with silence. As against their better judgments, both Berry Blue and the young soldier turn back to find the beast stood over the bodies of the rest of the squad, now with their backs against a metaphorical wall, as their bodies can do nothing but stand in fear. The youngest soldier grabs his pendant and begins to beg for his life, saying he has someone he wants to return home to, and never wanted to be a part of the Freezer Force. But these words fall on deaf ears, as with a well-placed blast, the young adult's head is taken off, leaving just Berry Blue, who asks what this creature wants, and with a sudden surge of speed, the distance between them is closed, as Berry Blue is now held above its head, and with a snarl, Gohan demands to know the location of the king. But that's where I'll be leaving this part for now. I hope everyone enjoyed. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep these 0.5 parts relatively short, and I know it's still 22 minutes, but that's pretty good for me. So, you know. But no, on a serious note, yeah, I'm going to try and keep these parts short, because, like I said, I think people are probably going to be less interested in the adventures of Goku and Chi-Chi. I will still try and cover it in some detail, because there's going to be some cool things coming up, especially in the next 0.5 part. But I'm also going to try and use it to set up what's going to be happening with Gohan during the next part. I hope everyone likes his new design. I was very, very happy with it. And I'm really excited to tell the rest of this story. I know it's been a little bit of a break since I covered it. Well, it's been 2 months. It's 3 months, actually, by the time it's come out. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it, as I love telling this story. Thank you again, Pickle, if you're still here watching, for giving me the idea of how to do this. I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who comes along and supports these videos. I really appreciate it. That all being said, I hope everyone has a great day and a good night. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.